Called 365 by Whole Foods Market, it was an effort to demonstrate that, well, the company wasn't just for foodies willing to spend their quote-unquote whole paycheck on premium products. That first 365 store flung its doors open to much fanfare. It was centered in the hip Silver Lake section of Los Angeles.
Grocery shopping just got a lot more interesting. Online giant Amazon is buying Whole Foods for nearly $14 billion.
GMA Consumer Alert, Amazon is taking on the supermarkets by taking over Whole Foods and cutting prices on staples by up to 40%. It could be the start of a major price war. ABC's Adrian Banker is here with the story. Good morning, Adrian.
Okay, how excited are you that Whole Foods is no longer going to cost your whole paycheck, guys? All right, in Manhattan. Yeah, thank you.
When you go into a Whole Foods market, it seems a little different than a regular grocery shop. The fruit and vegetable area is often right at the front, bright, cheerful, and well organized. The air has the nice scent of fresh herbs and juicy fruit. You'll find things like organic strawberries, grass-fed beef, almond flour, and maybe some items you don't know about yet. It's not only about picking up groceries, it's about choosing healthier and smarter food options. Whole Foods Market is a grocery store that specializes in natural and organic foods. No fake colors, flavors, or added stuff. You won't see sweet cereals packed with extra stuff or drinks full of sugary corn syrup. You'll find items that follow high-quality rules, often made nearby or produced in a way that's good for the environment. The aim is to help people enjoy healthy eating and feel good about their purchases.
At Whole Foods Market, we believe in food that's naturally beautiful, fresh, and nutritious. So there are no artificial colors, no artificial flavors, no artificial preservatives in any of the food we sell. We believe in real food. Whole Foods Market.
Whole Foods started its journey in 1980 in Austin, Texas. Back then, natural food stores were tiny and spread out, mainly helping certain neighborhoods. The concept of organic wasn't popular, and many big grocery stores didn't have healthy choices available. John Mackey and Renee Lawson Hardy were two people who aimed to make a difference. They started a little shop named Safeway, which is a fun twist on the name of the large grocery store Safeway. Shortly after, they teamed up with Craig Weller and Mark Skiles, who operated another natural food store, and combined efforts to create the first Whole Foods Market. It was just 10,500 square feet and had only 19 workers, but it was one of the first big grocery stores that focused completely on natural and organic items. In 1981, a big flood almost ruined the store, damaging most of the stock and tools. However, with the help of customers, friends, and local community members, the business was cleaned up and reopened in less than a month. During the 1980s and 1990s, Whole Foods started to grow little by little. Instead of just opening more stores, they began purchasing other small natural food companies around the country, including Bread and Circus in the Northeast, Fresh Fields on the East Coast, and Mrs. Gooch's in California. This helped Whole Foods expand quickly and reach new areas while maintaining a community vibe. By the early 2000s, Whole Foods was known as the leader of the organic food movement. They were starting big shops in important cities and becoming a sign of a healthier way of living. People who cared about health, the environment, or just good food were gathering at Whole Foods. The company started sharing clear product rules, prohibiting many ingredients that didn't fit their standards. But not everything went well. Whole Foods has a reputation for being pricey. Some people even jokingly refer to it as whole paycheck. The company had good quality, but the prices were too high for many shoppers to afford. Then a big change happened. In 2017, Amazon purchased Whole Foods for $13.7 billion. It was one of the biggest deals Amazon had ever done, and it started a new time for both companies. Now that Amazon is in charge, prices on some important items have gone down, making Whole Foods a little easier on the wallet. Amazon Prime members started receiving more discounts, and grocery delivery got simpler and quicker. Because of Amazon's huge distribution system, Whole Foods stayed true to who it is, but it really got better at using technology and making things easier for customers. Some regular customers felt uneasy about the changes, concerned that the store might lose what it stands for. Overall, Whole Foods has stayed true to its focus on natural and organic foods, now using more digital tools and reaching more people. Whole Foods has many stores in the US, Canada, and the UK now. It's still one of the best known names in organic grocery shopping. Lots of shops have places where you can get hot food, make smoothies, and even sit down to eat. The company keeps helping local farmers, using sustainable seafood methods, and offering fair trade products. While Whole Foods has established a great reputation for nutritious, high-quality goods and environmentally friendly practices, its history has not been without controversy. It has been caught up in some big problems, so let's check those out. In 2015, Whole Foods faced a major issue when people accused the company of regularly charging too much. The New York City Department of Consumer Affairs looked into Whole Foods and discovered that the store was often charging too much for prepackaged items, such as fruit, nuts, and deli meats. Sometimes packages had the wrong weight labels, and customers paid more than they should have. Whole Foods said the errors were not meant to happen, pointing to human error. The company received a lot of criticism and said sorry to the public. It also said it would make training better and be more accurate. However, the nickname Whole Paycheck remained, and this controversy made it even more significant to its critics. Whole Foods has received criticism for its position on worker rights and unions. The company has always been against union activities among its workers, even before Amazon took it over. Former CEO John Mackey shared his thoughts on unions, saying they weren't needed and could harm the company culture. In 2020, after Amazon took control, news came out that the company was watching Whole Foods stores with heat maps to find out where union activity might occur, looking at things like employee turnover, racial diversity, and complaints at the store level. This seemed intrusive to a lot of people and raised worries about watching employees and acting against unions. Job dismissals during the pandemic. In 2020, at the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic, Whole Foods was in the news once more for how it handled workers speaking out about unsafe conditions. Some workers were said to have been let go after they took part in walkouts, asking for improved safety measures and extra pay for risks. Whole Foods stated that the firings were for different reasons, but critics viewed it as punishment against workers who were trying to safeguard themselves. Workers and news sources said it showed how Amazon is known for being tough on people who speak out at work. In 2020, Whole Foods had a public argument about the rules for what employees could wear at work. Workers in several stores were said to have been sent home or face consequences for wearing Black Lives Matter face masks. Whole Foods said it had a dress code that doesn't allow political or religious messages, but some people criticized the company for not applying those rules fairly and for trying to silence a movement for racial justice. A group of affected employees started a class action lawsuit, but it was thrown out in 2022. The event led to bad news stories and started bigger talks about free speech at work. Whole Foods has faced several lawsuits for confusing labels and ads. For example, in 2016, it faced a lawsuit for selling baby kale salad that didn't really contain baby kale. In a different situation, it received backlash for offering items marked as organic or natural that had suspicious ingredients or were wrapped in ways that didn't follow specific environmental guidelines. These lawsuits haven't always led to big fines or legal defeats, but they've slowly hurt the company's image of being open and honest. Even though Whole Foods talks about having high standards for meat and dairy, animal rights groups have pointed out that they sell products from suppliers who may not meet those standards. In 2015, a hidden video shared by PETA revealed mistreatment of animals at a pig farm that said it was certified under Whole Foods' 5-step animal welfare rating system. The company started its own look into things, but it made many wonder how well Whole Foods was keeping an eye on its suppliers. In 2017, a lawsuit claimed that the company misled customers regarding how animals were treated in its food products. Even though Whole Foods said the claims weren't true, these situations made people question if what they do really lines up with what they say in their ads. Criticism of GMO and organic Whole Foods has worked to be seen as a top choice for clean, healthy food. However, some critics have noted that its rules on GMOs and organic certification haven't always been as tough as claimed. For a while, Whole Foods had a lot of non-organic items placed next to organic ones, which made things confusing. Even though they've made efforts to enhance GMO labeling, some health supporters believe that the company focuses more on looking natural instead of applying clear rules for everyone. John Mackey, who used to be the co-founder and CEO, has said some things in public that have stirred up a lot of debate over the years. He once said the US healthcare system was like socialism and mentioned that climate change wasn't as serious as some people suggested. In 2020, Mackey said that the issue with America's healthcare system wasn't getting treatment but bad eating habits. Some people agreed, but others pointed out that he was overlooking bigger issues and using Whole Foods' focus on healthy eating to put the blame on individuals for larger problems. Now that you know the story of Whole Foods, from its simple beginnings in Austin to becoming part of Amazon's modern organic brand, it's time to reveal a bit more, because behind those neatly stacked avocados and nicely arranged cheese displays, there's a whole other world that only a few really get. If you love shopping there or are just curious about it, learning some helpful tips and tricks can make your visit easier, save you money, and add some fun to your experience. Let's explore the things that only workers talk about quietly, and the advice that will help you shop better each time you go through those automatic glass doors. Only Whole Foods employees know these secrets. 1. The salad bar isn't always the best choice for health. Just because it's at Whole Foods doesn't mean it's completely healthy. Some foods at the hot and cold bar have a lot of oil, salt, or sugar, especially sauces and ready-to-eat meats. Workers mention that many individuals pile up high-calorie foods, believing they are clean simply because they have an organic label. 2. The price tags are color-coded. They have a meaning. Workers understand that the colors of the tags are important. Yellow tags mean a temporary sale. Red tags mean it's a special deal from the manager or it's on clearance. Green tags mean low prices every day. However, many customers usually don't see it. If you want to save money, look for red and yellow.
Oh my God, what is that? Put it in the cart. Put it in the cart. I don't even remember what I came here for. Well, this section looks a little different than it did yesterday. And look at this. Look at this.
3. You can try before you buy. You might not know this, but you can ask to try almost anything. Yes, even packaged items or cheeses at the deli. Workers are often taught to agree, as long as it makes sense. If you ask nicely, you can get things like fruit or cookies opened for you. 4. 365 products are like Whole Foods' version of Trader Joe's. Their own 365 brand is much less expensive and still very good quality. Some workers say that a lot of 365 products come from the same makers as popular brands, just with a different label and sold for a lower price.
From friends coming over to moms coming over. So many ways to save. Life ready, wallet happy. That's 365 by Whole Foods Market.
5. You can find hidden discounts for packages with damage. If you see a can with a dent, a box that's ripped, or packaging that's squished, just ask a worker for help. They can lower the price by 50% or even more. They prefer to sell it instead of tossing it away. 6. Workers sometimes receive free stuff, and you could too sometimes. Stores have special days where they give out free samples or treats for their workers, like extra bakery goods, smoothies, or snacks. If you visit often and get along well with the staff, you might find out about these special giveaways that aren't on the menu. 7. Wednesday is the best day to shop. Why is that? Because weekly sales tend to overlap. The deals from last week are still going, and the sales for this week have begun. If you plan well, you can get twice the savings. 8. Every item has a PLU code, and that can show if it's organic. Those small stickers on fruits and veggies. If the code begins with 9, that means it's organic. If it begins with 4, that means it's grown conventionally. This is useful if you want to see what you're really paying for. 9. Return policy. You can often get a refund or exchange even if you've used half of the product or lost the receipt. The policy aims to make the customer happy. Workers mention it's quite generous compared to other stores. 10. Prime member benefits can combine with in-store discounts. Amazon Prime members enjoy more discounts on certain yellow tag items, and sometimes those items are already on sale, giving you double savings. Make sure to look at the app or signs for the Prime logo.
Hey Prime members! There's a whole new way to save at Whole Foods Market. Here's the deal. Now Prime members get access to special deals and save an extra 10% on hundreds of sale items. Saving is as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Use the 365 brand first. Before picking up that $9 almond butter, see if the 365 brand is right next to it for $5. You can usually save 20 to 40% by choosing their store brand. 2. Check the Amazon app before you buy. If you have Amazon Prime, just open the app in the store. It will show Prime discounts, display weekly deals, and sometimes even allow you to scan barcodes for more coupons. 3. Shop online, collect in store. You don't have to struggle in the aisles. Simply place your order online on Amazon and select the free curbside pickup option. It's perfect for bypassing long waits or steering clear of unplanned purchases. 4. Arrive early for the best bakery and fresh produce. If you want fresh bread, muffins, or the best fruits and veggies, shop before 10 a.m. That's the time when shelves are just filled up and you can skip the busy lunch crowd. Check out the bulk section for affordable staples. Rice, oats, spices, and nuts from bulk bins cost less than the packaged ones. Also, you can get just what you need. 6. Use your own containers and save some money. Some shops allow you to bring your own jars or containers for bulk goods or even the hot food section. First, weigh them at the counter. You're also doing good for the planet and not spending extra on packaging weight. 7. Get help from the butcher or fish seller. Looking for a smaller piece? Unique spice. Workers at the meat and seafood counters are often skilled cooks, or at least well informed. They can cut, prepare, or add seasoning at no extra cost. 8. Buy things after holidays for big savings. The day after any big holiday, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, or Valentine's Day, you can find great deals on seasonal stuff, like candies, wine, baked goods, and even flowers. 9. Search everywhere on the shelves. Top items are put where you can see them easily. Less expensive options like 365 are usually found on the top or bottom shelves. Many people end up paying too much simply because they don't take the time to compare options. 10. Frozen organic costs less than fresh. If you're getting berries, spinach, or peas, take a look in the frozen section. Usually, the frozen organic kind costs less and stays good for a much longer time. Whole Foods may seem like just another fancy grocery store from the outside, but once you walk in, and now that you know the truth, it's obvious there's much more happening behind those shiny apples. Starting as a small health food shop in Austin, Whole Foods has grown into a major player in organic and natural foods. It has created a place where quality, branding, and some debate all come together in an eco-friendly environment. Of course, it has faced some criticism, from high prices to worker issues, but it has also helped many people learn about mindful eating and being clear about ingredients. With Amazon involved, the store's future looks bright, aiming for easy shopping, technology, and reaching more people, while still keeping its green charm. But what makes you different now? You understand what's going on. You know the insider tips, the tricks for sale days, and how to find a great deal any day of the year. So whether you're stopping by for oat milk or planning a big grocery trip, you'll be shopping like a champ, smart, healthy, and maybe even a bit proud, but in a nice way. Enjoy your shopping and remember to look at the top and bottom shelves. You might find some great deals there.